Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi, live on ESPN Plus. Early going, round 2 of the Masters. Tiger Woods parred his first hole. He remains 8 back of leader Bryson DeChambeau. Max Homa parred his first hole as well. He is just 2 off the lead. Main coverage from Augusta at 3 Eastern on ESPN. Kentucky has its new men's basketball coach. BYU's Mark Pope will take over for John Calipari. Now at Arkansas, Pope was a captain on the Wildcats' 1996 national championship winning team. ESPN's Pete Thamel and Jeff Borzella report he's got a 5-year deal. Wildcats turned to Pope after several high-profile candidates either turned down the job or said they were not interested. NBA Timberwolves center Karl Anthony Towns out 5+ weeks with a meniscus tear, expected to return against the Hawks tonight, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. Minnesota and Oklahoma City 1 game back of Western Conference leading Denver.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A beautiful Friday across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. We get to enjoy plenty of sunshine. Now, we are going to be on the cooler end of the spectrum. Temperatures only climbing into the mid and upper 60s, but it's still going to be a beautiful day with plenty of sunshine and, most importantly, no rain. We drop into the mid 40s as we head into the overnight, early into your Saturday morning. Plenty of sunshine Saturday afternoon. Temperatures quickly going to climb into the mid and upper 70s. We're only dropping into the mid 50s through the overnight, early Sunday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The best in local sports talk from the 256. We are local.
When you're number one, you don't have to worry.
We are award-winning. Thank you for listening. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You'll be set for life.
The opinions of Thom Abraham are not necessarily the opinions of the radio station or anybody associated with the radio station or ownership. These are strictly his own opinions, and sometimes they're not even his opinions.
Now, funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
You're tired.
Well, the lunchtime whistle and the morning's finally done. I'm jumping in my car, I'm gonna have a little fun. The Doghouse Network's on my radio dial. Big Dog's taking care of business for a while. If you're listening to another station I don't understand, 'cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
Give us a call, Steve.
He's a northern-bred, southern-fed, slick-talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the Junkyard Dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Tide and Tiger Land, nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Football Friday in the Doghouse. I am Thom Abraham. So glad that you are with us. It is Masters Friday. It is A-Day Friday. And more importantly, it is Salt Factory Pub Friday. This is a new partner of ours. And this morning, the Salt Factory Pub vouchers flew off the shelf in our zone deals. But I tell you what, we have a couple of them here with us. So I am buying lunch for the first 2 people that come by and say, I heard you on the show, and you need to get here before 2 o'clock, and we will hook you up with Salt Factory, a $25 gift certificate to Salt Factory, which will pay for your lunch here today. Now, Salt Factory is in Mid-City at the corner of Mid-City Drive and Stack Street in the shadow of Top Golf, and it is tremendous in here. It's the motif is almost like an English pub type of feel here at Salt Factory. They do have a number of TVs on. We have the Masters on facing us here. They've got a buffet set up for an event that they've got going on out on the patio. There's a long, beautiful bar that is set up, plus these really cool booths that we're sitting in. And by we, I mean the Junkyard Babe. She's here as well. So when you come to get your voucher, you need to see her, and she'll hook you up with that voucher. Now, that's assuming that Captain Cool gets here shortly with the vouchers. I mean, he needs to be here. I don't know why he isn't here by now, but, what can I tell you? He was the last of the, he might be the runt. You know what I mean? You never know. He was number 9 out of 9 and they say they get, they kind of lose a little bit of brain power. Each as you go down, they lose more and more brain power. So maybe he's the runt of the litter. So maybe that's what's going on there.
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, I don't know what the reason is, but he'll be here soon enough. So the Masters is into its second round after finishing up the first round this morning. Tiger Woods with a bogey at 18 shot 1 over 73. He is back on the course after a short turnaround. He is through the front 9 and is one over today, leaving him 2 over right now for the round. Now they're saying going in, the projection is that the cut will be at +3. We'll see if that holds up. It is blowing 20 to 25 miles an hour in Augusta. Anything under par is a win there. Today, we'll keep you posted on the scoreboard, and we'll give you a complete scoreboard update here in just a few moments as Scotty Scheffler is getting set to take the course here a little bit. He'll be out there. Bryson DeChambeau, who started the day with a one-shot lead over Scotty Scheffler, is on the course. He is still at 7 under par and has been tied by Max Homa the last time I looked at the leaderboard, but we'll get you caught up on that leaderboard here in just a little bit. Actually, Homa has made a bogey now and has gone back to 6 under. So Homa and Scotty Scheffler sitting one shot back of Bryson DeChambeau right now. Nikolai Holgaard, I think that's how you say his name, the Norwegian, he is 3 shots back at -4. So it's you've got 3 guys that are, that lit it up basically with DeChambeau and Max Homa and Scotty Scheffler, and then in a hurry you're down to there's only 3 guys. 4. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's only 6 guys that are under par. Only 6 guys right now that are under par. So we'll keep you posted on how that is going as it continues to develop here. And I just lied to you as I refreshed. I was like, what? That doesn't seem to make sense. I refreshed. There are 23 guys that are under par. All right, 23 guys right now that are under par, and Max Homa is, in fact, tied with Bryson DeChambeau. So I had to refresh my scoreboard to get you that. But we'll get you a full rundown on that. Now, one of the biggest surprises of the first round has to be Jordan Spieth's 79, which included a 9 at the par 5 15th hole. Now, he came into this week playing pretty well so far this season in 9 events. He has been an ATM machine at the Masters over the years. He finished 4th last season. But do you remember how he started there? He was 2nd in 2014. He won in 2015 and was 2nd in 2016. I mean, this dude went 2nd, 1st, 2nd in his first 3 Masters. He was 3rd in 2018. He was 3rd in 2021. He was 4th last year. He did miss the cut in 2022, and he's going to miss the cut this week. Now, Dustin Johnson also shot $1 million in the first round as well. Brooks Koepka with a disappointing 73. Yesterday was the scoring day. You shoot 73 today, and you're doing something. Yesterday, the sun is shining brightly. It looks wonderful on TV. But yesterday was the day, really, for scoring. And Brooks Koepka did not get it done with the 73. Justin Thomas had a 72 as well. Everybody's chasing Bryson DeChambeau, who had that 65 yesterday. This is a serious lost weekend for me. I got to be honest with you. For me personally, look, the weather is going to be spectacular, absolutely beautiful. But with the Bassmaster Elite Series at the Harris Chain, the Alabama A-Day game on ESPN at 3 o'clock tomorrow, the Masters, my 2 of my grandsons are playing their first Little League game of the year tomorrow at 5 o'clock. It's a lost weekend. I mean, it's going to be hard for me to get out of the Barca Lounge. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I got to do some yard work. I got to get outside. I got a lawn to cut. I got to get some stuff done because next weekend it's a bass fishing tournament, a huge charity bass fishing tournament at Gunnersville. And so I need to get some work done here this weekend. I don't know how I'm going to get it done, though. I'll be totally honest with you. Coming up in a few minutes, we will preview the A-Day game with Jimmy Stein from Bama Online. One of the big stories is what is going on at center in the battle to replace Seth McLaughlin. The assumption all along has been that it would be Parker Brailsford who followed Kalen DeBoer from Washington, but he has been missing for most of spring ball, dealing with some sort of an off-field issue. It's not a discipline thing. He's not in trouble. He's not flunking out of school. None of that is going on, but something has been keeping him out. So redshirt junior James Brockemeyer has been getting the first-team snaps. Now, this kid came in a couple of years ago as the number one center in the country coming out of high school. He came to Alabama with his brother Tommy Brockemeyer, who was the top left tackle in the class. Tommy has since returned home to Texas. They really didn't play at all for Alabama, and nor has James. And these kids are both from Texas. Tommy has returned home to Texas to play for the Longhorns. Now, coming up at the top of the one, Pete Sands, the director of golf at beautiful Cherokee Ridge, will join us with his thoughts on the Masters so far. Scotty Scheffler, the overwhelming favorite, is right there. I mean, he's just one back. He goes off at 45 minutes after the hour, so that's when Scotty Scheffler will be back on the course. We'll see what he can do with this weather. Now, phone lines are open, 256-5764-97.7 will get you in. It's 256-576-4977. Don't ask me about a Friday trifecta. I'm not doing no stinking Friday trifecta today because we got the Masters factor going on already. I'm not going to add to it as add to it by doing a Friday trifecta. Grumpy, by the way, just hit the text window. Salt Factory English Pub Field, do they have fish and chips? Well, not only do they have fish and chips, but the Junkyard Babe and myself knocked down fish and chips for lunch that we just finished up here. And I did post a picture of the fish and chips on my X feed. You can find my X feed at Thom Abraham Show. Also, of course, the text window is open, 732-9TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. Our YouTube station is WZZN TV on YouTube. There's a link to that from Facebook, which is at 97.7 ESPN. You can watch the show there. You can watch it on X, on my feed, or on the station's feed. Either one of those will work. Just go to 97.7ESPN.com if you need to and get links to all of that. And you can listen live on your desktop if you want to do it as well. While you're at it, get the app. I mean, you need the app so that you can get a link to all our alternate streaming channels for more great programming. 4 more channels there on the app, Zone 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you're going to need them this weekend. There's just so much going on. Also, snag the Talk Radio WZZN app for more great programming. There, you can hear Talk Radio at 97.7-2 over the air on a digital radio. Most cars have them now. And, of course, Talk Radio is also your home for the Trash Pandas all season long. They were on both Talk Radio and The Zone last night. Now, coming up on Zone 2 in an hour after the show, 1 hour after the show, I will be over at Charger Park with UAH Baseball against Shorter University out of Rome, Georgia. That is going to be on the app at Zone 2 at 3. Softball will be on Zone 3 at 4. Steve Moulton is on the call for that one. And by the way, the Havoc are in Fayetteville, North Carolina tonight trying to close out the first round against the Fire Ants. You can watch that one on the Havoc website. There's a link there to watch it on the hockey TV deal there. And so you check that out at the website. Just so much going on. It's just so – Alabama baseball is hosting the number 1 team in the country, Arkansas, tonight. And over the weekend as well, we have all of those games on the Zone for you, as well as the Tide try to break a 4-game losing streak. Now, tomorrow we will have the 8A game immediately followed by Alabama-Arkansas game 2 of that series. So you can check that out. So it's all of that is going on. Now, back in the little glass room with the slanted ceiling, playing the Platters That Matter and the Stacks of Wax, answering the phones. He's living large and in charge on a Friday, wishing he was out here, at the Salt Factory. It's the one and the only DJ Grizzy Grizz.
Nowhere. I put the thing together on a polish. Brilliant! I've got $100 smoking in my billfold. I know I ought to save it, but it's burning a hole right through my
like rat poison.
It's not St. Patty's Day, so that's a different day entirely.
Hey, Grizz, I bet you wish you were out here at the Salt Factory Pub. I mean, it is. I know you've been here before. This is your client. You set this deal up for me to be here, and I just want to publicly thank you because this is a good job by you, all right? I just want to say that.
Yeah, no problem. No, yeah, I've had it before. The Nolan's Barbecue Shrimp and Grits is phenomenal. I would like to try the blackened mahi sometime as well. But, yeah, no, it's a really great place. Yeah, no, it's a great Friday too because that intro. If you listen to that intro, there's no "Down Goes Grissom" by Austin Coletti.
Yeah, I don't know what
he
happened
did just
there.
a couple years ago. So
that's not in there.
Yeah, on this side, it's
somebody
it's
must
not
have did
in
a
there.
modification.
But yeah,
of
what a beautiful place! Like brand new, mid city, booming, vibing, everything getting built over there. The Orion Amphitheater right there.
Guess who just showed up? I just knocked my camera off, and let me see if I can get that back on. Yes, he just showed up here on camera. There he is there's the Junkyard Babe sitting next to him. There's the two of them, and her with our youngest son. So we do have, in fact, the certificates, and they've left these booths open here. I'll give you a little panoramic of the entirety of the restaurant here. And they left these booths open across me. So, listeners want to come on down and take a booth, we'll hook you up with chow. And there you can kind of see the extent of the room. Now, these two nice young ladies, they seated them like 2 tables away from me. You would think they would have kept them away from here. They're going, here, you're on TV. Just say, wait for the TV, ladies. They sit here, going to see 2 young ladies there joining us here.
Let me make sure I blur their faces out.
Don't blur their faces out. I have a signed document from them that says they're okay. You don't have to blur their faces out. They're okay for it. But and that's Gavin over there. Gavin used to work at the Baumhauers. That's our. You see Gavin on camera.
That's what's up.
In the panorama. He's throwing a peace sign. He is our server here today, doing a tremendous job for us. The Masters is on that TV that is over Gavin's head. Is where the Masters is. That's Zach, by the way. He's the general manager. He's in the gray T-shirt walking around there. So that's Zach walking around. Zach's on camera now. He just kind of slid off camera as well. But they've got a big event going on.
Cursing your name.
Yeah, he's in the back. So you're kind of getting it. It's a great atmosphere here for sure. And boy, those things went in a hurry, didn't they? Today, I mean, they were gone in about 4 minutes. Yeah. All of the Salt Factory Pub vouchers were gone, but I do have 2 here in front of me. Here, I'm holding them up now as we're back on camera 1, and I do have. Okay, I have 4 in front of me. I'll send 2 back to you, Grizz.
Oh, my bad.
Getting instructions.
I think I printed them and I just ended up throwing it to him.
Getting instructions followed is a little difficult sometimes, but that's okay.
No, I think I gave it to him like that, so that's on me.
Okay, bad on you. Bad on. We don't want to give them all away today. You know what I mean? We'll give 2 away today.
Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets fed here at the Salt Factory. We'll wait. We'll give away a couple, next week or so. But that's cool, and so it's all good here. Phone lines are open. If you want to jump in, you can do it. And Grizz, by the way, I mentioned all of the things that are distracting me this weekend, including the Bassmaster Elite event that is going on at the Harris Chain of Lakes. One of my favorite places in the world is the Harris Chain down in Central Florida. Now, I haven't checked the leaderboard lately. The day 1 was supposed to be yesterday was postponed till today. But leading right now, as of my last check, our friend from Fayetteville, Tennessee, in our listening area. All right, I can't say the only elite pro because we're big in Gunnersville as well, and there's a number of pros down in the Gunnersville area. But from Fayetteville, Tennessee, Brandon Lester is leading the tournament down there. They're fishing for $100,000 first place, so that's a good job by him. Ryan Fitzpatrick is with Laura Rutledge right now on the set at the Masters, and he looks so goofy. He's got this.
Like a tight suit on?
No, he's got this funny hat on. Ryan Fitzpatrick's the best, man.
Yeah, no,
he's
got
a
great
pair of
analyst.
shorts on.
I think he's a really good analyst, to be honest.
He is.
He's entertaining as well.
He's got this funny hat on and a pair of shorts. I mean, it's
by the way, speaking of the
goofy.
Masters, I'm sitting at 14 under right now because Dustin Johnson is at 10 over and Nick Dunlap's at 5 over, and Brooks Koepka is the only one keeping me alive right now.
So how can you be 14 under if 2 of your guys are 15 over already?
Well, I mean, sorry, 14 over. I'm sorry, not
14 over.
14 over. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the only.
That's a little different than 14 under.
Yeah, not 14
There's 14
under.
over, a 28 stroke swing there, and being over.
Yeah, no, but yeah, 14 over. Sorry, but yeah, no, I'm not sitting very well right now.
It's one of my favorite things. You know that. I said it yesterday. It's a top 3 thing for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'll be honest with you. If you told me that I couldn't watch another Super Bowl, but I could watch the Masters, and I had to give up the Masters or the Super Bowl, I think I would give up the Super Bowl. That's a true statement.
But
I think I would give up the Super Bowl if you told me I could only watch one or the other. Now, national championship game.
Yeah.
With Alabama in the game, I don't know if I could give that up. I think the Masters would be after that. But I could give up the Super Bowl, I think.
I just think that my problem with the Masters is there's so many times where I expect it to be like a really beautiful day, a really great spectacle, and there's like probably one great day. The rest of it's like a monsoon, or they got to play in some terrible conditions. But it's the best course, you know what I mean? I expect it to be in immaculate condition like I expect the Super Bowl to be. So I take the Super Bowl every time because it's a one-time thing, and you expect it to be amazing, and you expect to be good. It's not going to be that Patriots versus Rams, 2019 Super Bowl.
Hey, John, take these 2 back with you, just so I don't give them away. You got to see the Junkyard Bay, by the way, to get your $25 voucher here.
Hi, Alan.
There you go. Chad said hi. She can't hear you, but yeah.
I thought she had a headset on.
No, she does not have a headset on. She's not going to put a headset on that hair. I mean, get out of here. She's not going to do that. You know that. All right, let me get Brandon in here quick and get him knocked off. Brandon, welcome to the show. How are you?
Is Ryan Fitzpatrick wearing Deshaun Jackson's shirt and sunglasses?
No, he's got a regular golf shirt on and a regular pair of golf slacks, but he's got a fedora on, but he's got the brim up all the way around, and it's a Masters green fedora. So that's how he's rocking it today.
Well, did you get my pictures?
I got your from the slopes. Yes, I did. Are you still out there in Vail or wherever you are?
We're headed back today.
Okay.
But we went to Coors Field, and I sent you some pictures from the game.
When did you send those? Oh, yeah, I saw that. I saw those, too. Who'd you see? Who were they playing?
They were playing the Diamondbacks, and they lost 5-3. They blew it.
Well, there's nothing like being able to – you could put that on your bucket list, nothing like being able to go to a Colorado Arizona game, in baseball. It's historical stuff.
We got seats in the lower bowl, very last row up in the lower section, right behind home plate, $40-something a piece.
Wow.
You ain't getting no tickets to a Braves game for that.
No. Is that a beautiful place, though, that stadium? Isn't that stadium supposed to be a pretty nice stadium, isn't it?
I think it's pretty. I think it's got a good skyline. It was warm. Yeah. It was about 60 degrees, and the concessions are unbelievable. The tickets were pretty good, but you'll spend as much money on concessions as you will tickets. So they definitely eat before you go unless you want to blow a lot of dough.
Right.
And you were talking about the Junkyard Babe's hair, $25. It's probably worth $25 just to see her hair because it always looks so good.
It does look good, and those of you that were watching on on WZZN TV saw that shot of her hair. Does always look good. I don't know if I could charge $25 just to look at her hair, though. I mean, I could do that. I'll pop her back on camera there one more time.
She should have been on The Price is Right back in the day.
Yeah.
It went out again.
Yeah. She could have been. Face. Oh, there's my face. Let's see if I can get the right camera. I don't. Every time I turn that one camera, it seems to want to go out, Grizz. Now I know. Remember, that's the one I used to use back in the studio.
That would
and
come
now
back
I
and
know.
Forth? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the camera. It's not the deal. But no, she was not a Price is Right model back in the day. But yeah, she could have been.
Bob missed out on that one. So,
she was actually a foot model at one point in time. She modeled shoes because she's got perfect size 5 feet or size 6 feet with no bunions or any of that kind of stuff. She's got nice, toenails and everything. And she was a foot model back in the day.
All right, so I haven't been able.
True story.
The cable here is out.
Yeah.
The cable here is out. So what's it looking like on the leaderboard right now?
I'll tell you exactly what it is looking like on the leaderboard as we go to break. Thanks for the call, Brent. Oh, wait a minute. Don't cut him off yet. because he can't hear because the cable is out. So he's asking for the scores. Max Homa is leading at 7 under. He's 2 under on his second round. Bryson DeChambeau just made a bogey to fall to 6 under. He's second. Scotty Scheffler at 6 tees off at 12:48 Central Time. Nikolai Hogard, I don't know how you say that kid's name. All I know is he's got an O in his name and it's got a line through it. Grizz, what does that mean in Norway when they have an O in their name and they put a line through the name? Hogard, I think it's how you say his name. So Nikolai Hogard with a line through his O in his name. He is at 4 under. He's +1 on the second round. Cameron Young has moved into a tie for 4th. He is 4 under. Cameron Davis is 3 under. Corey Connors 3 under. Ryan Fox 3 under. And down the list we go. So there you go. Brandon gone? We're done with Brandon. Okay. Nope,
okay. Just going to hang up on
now he's really
He was
gone.
there.
Yeah, okay. Well, now we got to hear it. All right, let's get a break. When we come back, let's talk A-Day with Jimmy Stein from Bama Online next, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Listen to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond.
Man, I appreciate what you guys do. I know credit got Drew, Talkin' Ball 7 until 9 on my show when I feature Drew, and certainly have a great relationship with Wes and Steve and Tom and all you guys, man. It's always fun to hang out with you with media days, different bowl events, but I always appreciate the partnership. I almost feel like we're sister stations with 97.7 The Zone, the only sports station in the Rockets. And thank you so much.
Every weekday morning, wake up with Scott and Drew. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 The Zone.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hi folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
I'm here today with Dr. Tracy Lowry of Veracity Vein Center. Now, how does someone suspect they have vein issues?
The most common symptoms associated with vein issues include leg heaviness, aching, and swelling, with some patients having visible veins as well. Vein issues can be easily diagnosed using ultrasound, with treatments performed as an outpatient using the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Both men and women have vein issues, though men may be more likely to ignore their symptoms when they're playing golf or walking the stadium steps. They too will benefit from correction of their vein problem. Patients can contact our clinics in Huntsville and new clinics in Madison and Coleman at 256-715-7151 or visit us at veracityweincenter.com.
Veracity Vein Center, Alabama's premier vein center.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead ran away and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
I want to thank you. Thank you for making us your number one choice for sports talk in North Alabama.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
And welcome back. Thom Abraham Show, live on location here at the Salt Factory Pub in Mid-City. I have got your lunch certificate for you. All you got to do is come on in and see the Junkyard Babe and say, hey, I heard Thom say that, he's feeding us lunch, and I've got 2 of them available for you right here. So when you come on by, we will hand you one of those, and while they last, and you can sit down and have a great lunch here. The fish and chips is to die for. I mean, the fish was so light, and the breading on it was, amazing. It was outstanding. I mean, just really, really good. And you can take that in along with all the other items that they have here on their menu. They got a tremendous menu here at the Salt Factory Pub. All right, joining us now to talk about the upcoming A-Day game tomorrow, Jimmy Stein from Bama Online is on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Jimmy, welcome back. How are you?
Oh, doing good, Tom. Thanks for having me on.
I wish you were sitting right next to me here at the Salt Factory Pub in Mid-City, Huntsville, and
you sold me on that fish and chips.
Oh man, the fish and chips is amazing.
Fish and chips.
Yeah, and we got 50-inch TVs all over the place with the Masters on as well. I mean, where do you want to be but in an English pub watching the Masters on a beautiful Friday afternoon? I mean, it's just absolutely perfect.
Glorious.
Yeah, it is absolutely glorious. All right, so A-Day tomorrow. We'll get into some of the minutia a little bit in a moment. But first, let's talk about the format, because we have seen a certain format for years and years under Nick Saban, 1v1s, 2v2, and so on. Talk to me about the format for this A-Day game and how this is going to be played out.
First of all, one thing about the format that I think people may be missing a little bit here is it's not really too different from the Nick Saban format in this one sense. When Saban divided up the teams into crimson and white, he always ensured that the first-team offense would be on the field against the first-team defense to make it the most competitive game as possible. And when the other, when the field flipped, it would be the second-team offense versus the second-team defense. That's exactly what we're very likely to see from Kalen DeBoer all day on Saturday, is the ones versus the ones and the twos versus the twos and the threes versus the threes. So in that sense, not much is going to change. What's going to change, and this part is radical, is just the scoring. It won't be like a normal football game where you have a crimson team versus a white team. They're going to come up with some scoring system to account for how well the defense is playing, and really the competition on the field is going to be the offense versus the defense. But in terms of the players on the field, it is still largely going to be ones versus ones, twos versus twos, and threes versus threes, and they're playing football that all of us will recognize.
Yeah, but they did have a draft, right? They had the coaches got together and they had a draft. So you would think like, okay, the first guy takes Jalen Milroe. The next guy, maybe is he taking defense or is he taking offense? Is he taking Milroe's, top guy? Do we expect what is the offensive line right now? And we'll get to that in a moment in terms of the actual, because there's probably possibly two parts of the offensive line that are not going to be in the starting offensive line when the fall comes. But do we expect that the offensive line group that's been working together with the ones is going to stay together? Wouldn't they be split up if they're alternating draft picks?
No, I believe you're going to see the first team offensive line be together. I mean, that's the expectation anyway, based on what Kalen DeBoer said in his press conference yesterday. But we'll see. I mean, again, I think there's going to be some surprises. You know, we're told to expect surprises, of course. But I'd be surprised with them changing up too many things. Now, on the offensive line, when I say the ones that have been playing together, as you know, and I'm sure we're about to talk about, there's been some changes in terms of who that first-team offensive line is. But no, I expect to see what amounts to the first-team offense play against the first-team defense.
So let's talk about what I still consider the most important part of the team, the offensive line, and the most important part of the offensive line being the center in terms of the guy that is making all the calls and starts to play. I mean, the play has to start properly and, to get things going. And we saw some of the issues in the shotgun that Seth McLaughlin had last year. The thought process was that, Parker Brailsford was going to be the starting center and still is the thought process that he would be the starting center. He's coming from Washington with Kalen DeBoer, but he's been missing most of the fall. And that means that, redshirt junior James Brockmeyer has been getting these first-team snaps. And remember, Brockmeyer coming out of high school was the number one center in the country. So it's not like he's come some kind of a schlock. What can you tell us about Brailsford that we don't know, the very, very vague communication as to why he's missing time?
Yeah, I know it'll be a surprise to everyone. I think if Parker Brailsford's playing on Saturday, I think he's just missed too much practice time. Probably missed about 4 practices by now. It could be 5, but right around 4 to 5 practices. He's still working out with the strength and conditioning coaches and staying in football shape. Per Kalen DeBoer, he's not planning to leave the program. They expect him back with the team. DeBoer's even said sooner rather than later, just going through apparently some off-the-field personal stuff that they don't want to elaborate on. And in his absence, though, has been one of the bigger stories of the spring, really, has been the emergence of James Brockmeyer. I think some people may think, Brockmeyer emerged because Brailsford has not been available, but that's really not the case. Brockmeyer has been very impressive at practice from practice number 1, and when Brailsford was practicing with the team, they were sort of splitting reps with the first team. Some of the times it was Parker, some of the time it was James. But with Parker out, James Brockmeyer's gotten all the first-team reps. I'm sure that has helped accelerate his development. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see some pretty good play out of the first-team center position for Alabama on Saturday. James, it's his 4th year in the program. We interviewed him this week, the media did, and I thought it was really interesting. He said he arrived at Alabama 265 pounds, but most recently weighed in at 295. And that's why I think it's taken James a while in terms of finding a role on the field. This will be his 4th year, but when he plays in a game this fall with the first team, that will be his first snaps ever with the first team in year 4. I think it's just taken a while for his body to develop into an SEC football player.
Jimmy Stein with us. Were you surprised he didn't leave with his brother? I mean, they came to Alabama together from Texas, and then Tommy Brockmeyer, who was considered the top left tackle and coming out of high school as well, never really got on the field for Alabama, returned to Texas, went to the Longhorns with Steve Sarkisian, and yet James stayed. Was that surprising at all?
Not really, and I say that because people might be surprised to know. I guess this can go either way. They're twins, Tommy and James, but from my understanding, their personalities are wildly different. I think Tommy Brockmeyer is more of a student, and by that I mean I don't think Tommy Brockmeyer is as driven as James, and by that I mean not as a knock on Tommy. I think James is sort of ultra driven. James, I heard even when he wasn't playing in Alabama, coaches have always described him as having a bulldog mentality, never going to quit, never going to give up type guy. Whereas Tommy Brockmeyer, a little more laid back. I don't think he's a guy that you're going to catch him, lifting weights and watching film at 2 a.m. in the morning, like James might be doing. So I think they just wildly different personalities. And then on top of it all, and maybe some of this driven by the fact that Tommy had injury issues the whole time he was at Alabama, and then after he transferred, he recently retired from football due to his back issues. So I'm sure that affected things quite a bit in terms of working out, developing on the field, as Tommy was often injured and in the training room.
Right. Jimmy Stein with us, Bama Online, talking about tomorrow's A-Day game. Of course, the expectation is that Kalen Proctor will be back at left tackle, and I would say plug and play, although this is a whole different offense. He's coming in with a different coaching staff and a different offense, so I would think that he's going to have to earn, that time to be on the field. But just talk about, who's playing left tackle right now and what the expectation is and what this offensive line will look like when, when Kalen Proctor gets back.
Yeah, I think Saturday you'll see Elijah Pritchett as the first-team left tackle and Wilkin Formby, a redshirt freshman, as the first-team right tackle. That's the expectation in terms of who would be the starters right now. If you're playing a game this week, it's Pritchett on the left side and Formby on the right side. Now, Caden Proctor, when he gets back to Tuscaloosa and is part of this football team again, that will probably happen sometime around June 1st. They don't practice during June and July, but when fall camp rolls around, I don't think Caden Proctor will be at the first team in the first practice because the new staff will be new to Caden Proctor. And like you said, Tom, the new scheme, the new offense, the new playbook, it'll take him a while. But in terms of just being a great football talent and all the ability in the world, it'll certainly be my projection that Caden Proctor will be a first-team tackle in short order, probably on the left side, just like he was last year at Alabama. That would act probably to shift Elijah Pritchett from the left side to the right side, and he becomes maybe the favorite to start at right tackle. Or maybe in the interim between now and then, Alabama has signed another tackle out of the portal. We can't rule that out at all. Alabama's numbers at offensive tackle are really low, and that's a position that they're very likely to address in the portal, which opens, I believe, Monday around midnight.
Where is Proctor physically then? I mean, you say rejoining the team June 1st.
Right.
May 1st is when the portal opens back up, so he can make that official. But he's not going to school at Iowa, is he? He's not in the spring semester in classes, is he? Or is he doing the spring semester out there? Why couldn't he be with the team?
Right.
Be there practicing?
Enrolled, right. He can't be enrolled because he's not enrolled at Alabama.
Okay, so he's not enrolled. Okay.
No, he's not enrolled. He is just simply committed to Alabama. As a matter of fact, he's got to jump through some hoops. Caden Proctor cannot complete a transfer from Iowa to Alabama until he enters the portal. The portal does not open until Monday. So Caden Proctor at this point is basically just verbally committed to enter the portal on Monday or Tuesday, and then announce that he's going to be enrolling at Alabama. Of course, by the time Caden Proctor decided to return to Alabama, it was too deep into the semester to enroll at Alabama. So I don't think Caden Proctor will be enrolled until, I'm guessing, the first session of summer, which is around June 1st. And once he's enrolled, he can then join all the team activities. Now, in terms of his physical location, I wouldn't be surprised at all to find out that Caden Proctor's in Tuscaloosa this weekend. One of the reasons he returned here is he made a lot of good friends. Tyler Booker this week referred to Caden Proctor as his brother, and before he committed to Alabama or announced that he was going to be entering the portal, he actually spent his Iowa spring break with Wilkin Formby, the Alabama tackle. So, he had come to the coast to spend his spring break here. So he's got good friends on the team, so it would not be surprising at all to learn that Proctor's spending quite a bit of time in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, see, I didn't know if he could be in a meeting or just hanging out at practice or, watch a walkthrough or whether they're even allowed to be on campus, in that kind of a situation. Who knows? I mean, the way these
I think he'd have to
rules
enter the portal. My guess is he would have to enter the portal before that could happen.
Before he can even hang out, yeah. Okay. Jimmy Stein with us here. All right, so a lot of people are going to be excited about tomorrow and seeing, of course, this one's on ESPN, so everybody's going to see it. You won't have to wait to stream it or whatever. You won't have to have ESPN Plus or SEC Network Plus. It'll be right there on the mothership at 3 o'clock. And so a lot of fans are excited to see what Kalen DeBoer's offense looks like. Having said that, how much of this are we going to see? I mean, I would think this is going to be extremely vanilla. I don't think we're going to look at. I mean, do you think we'll notice the naked eye? Do you think the naked eye will notice this is drastically different than what they did in the past, or will it be very, very vanilla and very basic?
Both. I'll tell you where I think a lot of fans are going to be able to see the difference right away. We certainly did attending the media viewing that we're able to see at practice when the media is allowed in. Is defensively there is notable difference, and by that Alabama just simply lines up differently. They're in a 3-3-5 defense now, full time. I think fans will be able to notice the difference in terms of the way the defense just simply aligns. That there is some difference there. Offensively, and, this is really interesting. Last year, Alabama's most often personnel group on offense in terms of how they lined up most of the time are what they call 12 personnel. That means one running back and 2 tight ends. That's what Alabama lined up with most of the time. Washington last year lines up with 11 personnel most of the time, 1 running back, 1 tight end. But the fact is, last year at Washington, they were in 11 personnel, a lot more than Alabama was in 12. So that tells me that, look, the way Washington liked to roll, so the way DeBoer likes to roll, is with 1 running back and 1 tight end on the field. So I think you'll see a lot of that. Now, in terms of how he wants multiple routes run at the same time from the different wide receiver positions, the play calling, I think that's going to be fairly vanilla because they're not going to want to give away what they plan to do at Alabama to future opponents who will watch the spring game, not just because it's on ESPN, but Alabama is actually going to have a way to watch the Western Kentucky spring game, the South Florida spring game, the Wisconsin spring game, all the opponents this fall. They will have at least some staffers take a look at those spring games trying to get some type of advantage in game planning. So Alabama will keep it sort of vanilla, but I also think a lot of astute observers will notice differences like, boy, they're in 11 personnel all the time on offense.
Yeah.
And defensively, they just line up differently than they did under Nick Saban and Pete Golding.
Now, you just confused some people because everybody knows about Kane Womack and his 4-2-5 defense. And you're like, wait a minute, he just said they're going to be in a 3-3. Talk about that. I mean, it's a 3-3 based on position names and so on and so forth. But they're always going to have a 4th guy walked up. And it's going to look like when you look at it on TV, you're going to see 4, you're going to see 2 linebackers stacked. You're going to see the wolf, while walking up, almost looking like a 3rd linebacker at times, and depending on how they're rotating the coverages and so on behind him. So, a lot of that is going to be really, really similar to what we've seen in the past. I try to tell listeners that back when everybody was flipping out over this massive change in defense from Nick Saban's defense, and it's like, not so much. Not so much.
No, it's not a massive change, and you're exactly right. It's a 3-3-5, but there is most of the time a 4th guy that lines up on the line of scrimmage on defense that would be the wolf position. Yeah. If you want to say the differences between between the Saban defense and the Womack defense is, under Womack, that 4th guy is the wolf, and he's strictly a linebacker and does a lot of linebacker things and is going to drop into coverage a lot, very frequently, just like NFL weak side outside linebackers drop into coverage a lot. At Alabama, that position was called jack, and while it was a linebacker and coached by the linebacker coach, really Coach Saban played that position more like a true defensive end. That was a pass rusher 90% of the time and dropped into coverage just some of the time. You'll see a lighter, more athletic player there under Womack because they do want that player in coverage more often.
Yeah. When Will Anderson was playing that position, every once in a while you'd see him drop off. But for the most part, he was a defensive end and how it played. All right, so tell the listeners now how you watch this spring game, what we're looking for in terms of individual play, quarterbacks, 2 and 3, and running backs and all of those types of things. What kind of things should we be looking for? Because schematically it's going to be extremely basic.
Correct. I just look at individual performances, like maybe who are the new guys that look like they'll be very impactful. I think one to watch, and it's a name that a lot of Alabama fans will be familiar with, even though he hasn't played a huge role, but that's running back Justice Haynes. I think Haynes is going to have, I wouldn't necessarily say a coming out party. In fact, he played A-Day last year.
Coming out party last year at A-Day.
He did. And I think that's why people are still excited about Justice Haynes, despite the fact he didn't play a lot last fall. That will not be the case this year. I think Justice Haynes will be a huge part of the offense's plans this fall. I think we're going to see him used quite a bit, not just as a guy getting all the carries, but as a guy that's going to catch the football too.
Right.
I won't be surprised at all. I mean, in my mind, he's the betting favorite to win offensive MVP on Saturday, just simply because I think he's going to be used quite a bit. But, the quarterbacks will be interesting to watch, too. Jalen Milroe very likely will play exclusively with the ones. He is QB1. Kalen DeBoer has made no bones about who the starting quarterback is. But Ty Simpson has reportedly had a really good spring. It won't surprise me at all if Ty is a big standout on Saturday. He'll play principally with the twos. But one of the reasons Kalen DeBoer likes this format is that Ty Simpson can also play some snaps with the first team. And I expect to see that to some extent. The younger quarterbacks, Austin Mack and Dylan Lonergan, both redshirt freshmen, they'll play quite a bit too with the reserves, with the twos and the threes. And I think they'll look promising. But, they're more quarterbacks of the future. The quarterbacks of the now are Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson. And there'll probably be some level of clear separation, Milroe and Simpson versus the other two younger guys.
So you don't necessarily expect to see Mack or Lonergan in the transfer portal May 1st?
Could. I would never – you never say never, particularly about the quarterback position. Now, I'll be a little surprised. I
think Mack's going anywhere. Yeah, I don't think Mack would go anywhere.
Mack just got here, so I think it's unlikely that Austin Mack would go. I think Dylan Lonergan's a little more questionable just in the sense that him and Austin Mack are in the same class now, right? Now you have two redshirt freshman quarterbacks. It could be that you're like, hey, I don't want to be the second guy, that's in the same class. If he feels that way, and there's no reason for him to feel that way. Everybody's really high on Dylan Lonergan, actually. So I'm not predicting that any of Alabama's quarterbacks enter the portal, but I'm not going to be shocked. No one should be.
Jimmy Stein has been our guest from Bama Online. Check him out there. You'll want to jump on that on Saturday night. What's the deadline, Jimmy? You have the story. You have your stories posted by 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock, 5:30. Are you going to be during the game? What do you think?
Thankfully, at Bama Online, Charlie Potter has that responsibility.
Good.
Charlie Potter will have the game story up, and that's going to be something he'll have to sweat out. He's probably already working on it. Knowing Charlie, who's extremely prepared and organized. Charlie will have the game story out with analysis from Clint Lamb, Travis Reier, and myself at BamaOnline.com.
That's good. Clinton will be joining us on Monday to wrap it up, too, so it'll be great to talk to Clint Lamb on Monday. All right, Jimmy, I appreciate you as always. Good stuff.
Thanks a lot, Tom.
We'll have Clinton Lamb on Monday. We'll also have Vince Ferrara joining us on Monday on the Tennessee game. There are 8 SEC spring games going on Saturday, and we will get them all covered next week at some particular point in time. All right, we'll get a break. We are here at the Salt Factory Pub. We'll get a break in here and come back with more right after this on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
AL cert number 21014.
Are those high utility bills driving you crazy this time of year? If they are, Talent Heating and Air has the special for you.
That's right. We're going to run a $49 spring checkup on your system. We're going to come out, we're going to check those heat kits, make sure that everything was working through the winter right, and then we're going to also make sure your Freon's good, make sure that you're ready for the summertime.
How important is that to be done this time of year?
It's really the most important time of the year. We can avoid safety concerns caused by wintertime use, and then we can also make sure that you're ready for the summertime.
And to get ready for the summertime, you just got to call
256-503-4490.
Or you can find them online at
talenthvac.com.
That's Talent Heating and Air. One more time.
256-503-4490.
Talent Heating and Air. Let them save you money.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, Check out the gold-certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Spring is in the air, making it a great time to make plans to visit the Lodge at Guntersville State Park. The Lodge at Guntersville State Park sits on a cliff overlooking beautiful Guntersville Lake with vistas from the cliffside rooms as well as the Pinecrest Room, the Lodge's premier restaurant. And as the weather warms, enjoy the gorgeous pool that overlooks the lake as well. The park also features cabins, a beach, and a boat launch, so bring your boat to take the fun to the lake. The Lodge at Guntersville State Park. Book your visit today.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. If you've been injured and need a lawyer right now, do you know who you really get?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. You want to talk to your lawyer. My clients talk to me.
And me. I'm attorney Justin Lackey. We're the ones that you talk to.
And we're the ones who handle your personal injury case.
And we'll take care of it.
The Lackey Law Firm. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
And welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. You're at the Salt Factory Pub. Both of our vouchers have been given away. That doesn't mean you can't come by and say hello and enjoy some great Friday fish fry. Take in that here at the pub. Jeff in the Burrows got himself a new head coach. It is Mark Pope that will be taking over as the head basketball coach. He was on the 96 national championship team, and he takes over Kentucky for John Calipari. And I'll just say this: he hasn't won a tournament game yet. BYU, they got knocked off. They were at 6 seed, got knocked off by 11 seed in the tournament. And we'll see if he's the guy that can get Kentucky back to where Kentucky thinks they should be. Jeff, welcome to the show. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Fantastic.
Well, it's a number one job in America, and he's got it. And it like Rick Pitino said, it took 11 years for Jay Wright or Jay Ron to win a tournament game too. And he's held this great, wonderful, the 2 titles at Villanova, the wonderful, the great Jay Wright, the awesome. It took him 11 years to win a tournament game. So, it took Billy Don from 2 years at Marshall. He didn't win one until he got to Florida. So,
were you surprised at how many
can't do it.
Were you surprised at how many guys were not interested in the job?
Well, Billy Don wasn't interested. I mean, he was just the NBA. Hurley out, but I didn't think Hurley would come. He just went to at UConn. I don't want Oates. I don't want him.
Yeah, well, he didn't want it either. He didn't want the job either.
Well, I don't want him anyway. I wouldn't contact you. I don't want Quaker Oats. I don't need Quaker Oats. He can stay down in Tuscaloosa. He can be second fiddle down there. He can stay down there and he y'all build y'all an arena. Y'all going to build a wonder place. Because sometime y'all take some of that football money and put it to basketball. If Greg Byrne don't treat Eli Gold like crud, and y'all real announcer. Maybe y'all do something with football. I get 8-day games where nobody cares, Tom. If spring games are in CGs, no one cares. Just nobody gets hurt and we move on. We're not worried about what formations they run. They're going to be vanilla. So don't get too excited Saturday night. I know you're excited football's back, though. You're a football man, and nobody else cares you up at sports. I know that. So you have a good weekend. Enjoy your 8 days. And nobody cares, Dave. Have a good day, Tom.
Yeah, nobody cares except for the 50,000 that'll be at the game and the 2 million that'll be watching on TV. Nobody else cares. All right, we'll be back. Pete Sands is next, talking golf on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi, live on ESPN Plus. Early going, round 2 of the Masters. Tiger Woods parred his first hole. He remains 8 back of leader Bryson DeChambeau. Max Homa parred his first hole as well. He is just 2 off the lead. Main coverage from Augusta at 3 Eastern on ESPN. Kentucky has its new men's basketball coach. BYU's Mark Pope will take over for John Calipari. Now at Arkansas, Pope was a captain on the Wildcats' 1996 national championship winning team. ESPN's Pete Thamel and Jeff Borzello report he's got a 5-year deal. Wildcats turned to Pope after several high-profile candidates either turned down the job or said they were not interested. NBA Timberwolves center Karl Anthony Towns out 5+ weeks with a meniscus tear, expected to return against the Hawks tonight, according to ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. Minnesota and Oklahoma City 1 game back of Western Conference leading Denver.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A beautiful Friday across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. We get to enjoy plenty of sunshine. Now, we are going to be on the cooler end of the spectrum. Temperatures only climbing into the mid and upper 60s, but it's still going to be a beautiful day with plenty of sunshine and, most importantly, no rain. We drop into the mid 40s as we head into the overnight, early into your Saturday morning. Plenty of sunshine Saturday afternoon. Temperatures quickly going to climb into the mid and upper 70s. We're only dropping into the mid 50s through the overnight, early Sunday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You know, this process is all about talking ball.
Listen to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond.
What did they want privacy for? To just start talking ball.
Every weekday morning, wake up with Scott and Drew. It's Talkin' Ball. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The opinions of Thom Abraham are not necessarily the opinions of the radio station or anybody associated with the radio station or ownership. These are strictly his own opinions, and sometimes they're not even his opinions.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. The segment brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford and the service team at Woody Anderson Ford. Not only experts in the service of Ford and other makes, but also they're using genuine Ford or Motorcraft parts on every Ford service job. From tire rotations to wheel alignments, brake jobs, oil changes, engine tune-ups, and training work, the service department and the Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center have got you covered with the Ford or otherwise. It is Woody Anderson Ford, my place for 20 years in the Tennessee Valley. We are at the Salt Factory Pub here in Mid-City. It is absolutely tremendous. It's such a cool vibe in this joint. You need to come on down and check it out. Say hello, and they got a bunch of TVs on in here as well. They got some spring games on and the old football games on. And they got the Masters on, of course, and other stuff that is taking place at in Augusta. Bryson DeChambeau just made a birdie to get back to 7 under to break a 4-way tie atop the leaderboard with Max Homa, Nikolai Hoagland, and Scotty Scheffler. Scheffler is just parred his first hole of the day, so he's just getting started here today. Max Homa through 12 now, going through AMM Corner as we speak. Joining us now, the director of golf at Cherokee Ridge, the beautiful Cherokee Ridge, where our golf tournament will be held on May 13th. You want to make sure that you get into that deal and send me a text, and we'll get you on the list of people to play in our tournament down there. Pete Sands joins us now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Pete, welcome in. How are you?
Tom, what's going on, buddy? How are you doing, sir?
Listen, Pete, it's Friday afternoon. I'm sitting it's Masters Friday. I'm sitting in an English pub watching the Masters and talking to you. I mean, I think I'm in pretty good shape right now. I don't know.
Yeah, I think, honestly, you're probably getting more work done than any golf fan right now, because usually these 2 days of the week, not much work's getting done in anybody's office during Masters Week, for sure.
You know, I think it's right up there with the first 2 days of March Madness. You know what I mean? I think those are the two things. The Thursday and Friday of March Madness, when we're all, keeping an eye on the scores and whatnot, and the Thursday and Friday, the first 2 rounds of the Masters are very, very similar, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anybody, obviously, if you're a golf fan, you know the Masters, but it's that one tournament of the year that even the non-golf fan, they know what it is. They know the history behind it. They know, even probably who won, the previous year. So It's definitely, I would agree, that's a pretty good correlation right there as far as the world of sports kind of stopping and taking a look on a random Thursday and Friday for both March Madness and then the Masters.
I thought that by now I would have been to 3 or 4 Masters. I used to work at a place where the owner of the radio station had a house there in Augusta, and he flew all the muckety-mucks up from Southwest Florida, and they would go to the Masters, and I knew I was on the list to eventually be able to make that trip and so on, and I ended up leaving that company. I knew guys that worked at CBS on the golf side, so I figured, wow, that's okay, I'll get there. And now here it is. I still haven't been there. I haven't been down Magnolia Lane. Have you been on the grounds?
I have been before. I've been once, luckily enough. It is correct what they say. As gorgeous as it looks on TV, it does not do it justice. The undulation out there is unbelievable. I mean, it is extremely impressive watching these guys hit golf shots from the different angles that they have to do. I mean, I just saw Rory. I mean, he was standing sideways on a bunker on one, just, being able to even get that to go forward, let alone, put it on the green. It just shows how good these guys are. And, but it's also, I mean, the golf course is going to show its teeth. Augusta is eventually you will make a bogey. You have to avoid that little Jordan Spieth 9 on 15. Those are the numbers you have to avoid. Yeah. But you can, you got to take advantage of the par 5s. I mean, it's blowing 15 to 25 miles an hour today, so wind-wise. So it's the golf course is going to show its teeth. I think right now Patrick Reed might be low man today so far. He's at 3 under through, I think, 14 holes. So I think the scoring will kind of come together. I mean, the projected cut right now is 3 over. And so there's a lot of guys right there. You got Jason Day, Tiger are all that 1-2 over. That they're probably, that cut line is going to move a little bit either, forward or backward. So kind of keep an eye on those guys. Obviously, everybody's watching Tiger, but it's going to be interesting if he's able to kind of continue that cut streak that he has out there. But he just made a really good par on 12. So he's got a couple par 5s to go. I mean, you got to take advantage of the par 5s out there for sure.
There's no doubt about it, and I think that's the thing that people don't understand is it looks gorgeous out there today, right? It's all blue skies and so on, just like it is here. but you don't get the sense of the wind blowing and of course, and what that does to a course that it's got to be getting faster and faster, right? You can say, well, it rained out there for 2 days and it's got to be soft. They've got all of this system in there, right, where they suck all of the water out from underneath the turf and so on. It's going to be fast.
I mean, for a guy in the golf industry, the technology behind Augusta National right now is you're definitely envious of what they're able to do, speeding up greens just by turning on basically a flip of a switch. But I mean, the other thing about the winds out there is, it's protected by all these pine trees, so you don't even really sense the wind while you're walking. It's so like a guy getting a wedge up high in the air or a shot high in the air, it might affect it more so than what they feel on the ground. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see, who's going to kind of get through today into the weekend. Max Homa probably got the better draw. I mean, being able to go in the morning today rather than yesterday, and he's showing it right now. I mean, he's up there and he's a great ball striker. So, that's the kind of things you have to look at going into the weekend is, weather, and then, obviously the better ball strikers, that ball won't be affected as much in the wind. So I like Max, the way he's playing right now. But, I mean, Scotty Scheffler, I think the only thing that might stop him is his wife going into labor. So that's also an interesting story to watch.
And Scheffler said he leaves. They asked him, they said, okay, you're on 16, you're leading by 2 shots, you get the text from your wife that she's gone into labor. What do you do? He says, I'm walking off the course. I'm leaving.
Yeah, I mean,
leading the Masters.
I'm assuming that's a different answer if he doesn't already have a green jacket.
Yeah.
I mean, you can somewhat control if you're going to have another kid or not, but putting on that green jacket, that is, I think there's better odds of having a kid than putting on that green jacket. So that is, I mean, it would be interesting. I mean, heat of the moment, you're leading the tournament on Sunday. I don't know how he would drop everything he's doing.
Well, don't they have some? If they can suck all the water out of the bottom of the golf course, they should be able to do something to stop a woman from having a baby, right? Don't they have some kind of something to give her a shot, cross her legs, tie her off with a bungee cord or something like that? I mean, they got to do something. Just hang on, baby. I got 2 holes to play.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Is it true that they have some sort of heating system behind 12 so that the azaleas always bloom during Augusta or Masters week? That because they always seem to be in perfect bloom exactly on the week of the Masters.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to our head pro here at Cherokee Ridge, Rob Taylor, yesterday, and I wouldn't be surprised if something. I mean, a couple of years ago when that pine tree fell, the next day you couldn't even tell.
Yeah.
They probably have the ability to completely transplant a green overnight, and you would not know the difference. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have something like that. I have not heard of that, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, Bryson DeChambeau leading through 7 holes today. You mentioned Max Homa, and maybe a little bit of an advantage as he's getting through Amen Corner and only has a few holes to play before the wind maybe picks up even more. Scotty is just on his second or third hole now, so he's got to play for another 4 hours, and so you worry a little bit about the weather with him, especially, I mean, there is nobody better tee to green. His putting just hasn't been right? I mean, that's the biggest thing is his putting hasn't been where it needs to be, because if it was, he would be having Tiger-like numbers. He'd be winning 8 or 9 tournaments.
It's absurd how good he is. That's I think in most of his putting, I think it's kind of between his ears a little bit. I know he kind of flip-flop putters, here and there. But, I mean, he putted well yesterday. So, I mean, I think, he might be one of those streaky guys that if the putter's hot, there's no one better. And yesterday he putted well. So it like I said, he's gotten to play the morning yesterday, and then he's afternoon today when that wind's going to kick up. So I am very curious to see, if he can. I mean, if he shoots 200 to 300 today, I mean, you probably go put a house payment mortgage on him to take it for the weekend, because it's he is as good as it gets.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And DeChambeau, he is kind of carrying the banner for the 13 guys from Live Golf, and you got to figure that still, this is fantastic having everybody together. They got to get this figured out. All right, they're going to screw this game up big time if we don't get this figured out, because it's so great seeing all the best players in the world there right now. But these guys that are wearing their Live Golf team stuff, I mean, it looks so goofy. You notice who doesn't do that is Brooks Koepka. Koepka's wearing he goes, Nike's a sponsor of mine. He's not wearing his Detroit Lion gear or whatever the hell they call these teams that they got and everything else. It looks weird.
Yeah, I mean, it is the definition of money talks for sure. So I mean, I'm assuming there's got to be something in there, kind of Live contract that says they have to wear X, Y, or Z to kind of promote the brand a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of opposite a little bit of last year. I mean, last year it was such a story of all these Live guys. Would they be able to compete after only playing 54 holes for these events? And they did very well last year. And now you look at this year. I mean, other than Bryson, there's not much Live on that top of the leaderboard. So I mean, I'm sure they're all cheering him on to kind of keep it going this weekend and kind of represent it. But yeah, you're 100% right. The golf has to figure out something to bring the two together a little bit, and kind of open up those world ranking points again, because it's going to eventually put asterisks on guys winning tournaments, especially someone like Scotty Scheffler. Once he starts winning more and more tournaments, at what point are people going to sit there and say, well, not all the best players in the world are playing in these events. So something's got to give.
By the way, Nick Saban now sitting with Laura Rutledge at the Masters, being interviewed in a blue pullover that has the script A on it, which is kind of weird. It's like Florida Gator blue, but it's got the script A on it anyway. But Saban at the Masters right now, giving an interview on that. The day before, now tomorrow, he'll be in Tuscaloosa at Denny Chimes honoring the captains from his last team, which was last year. Pete Sands with us, the director of golf down there at Cherokee Ridge. And you mentioned giving them points and things like that, the Live golfers, and I just don't see how you can compare it. I mean, it's a different game. 54 holes, shotgun start, so you're playing courses not intended the way they were intended to be played. You're out there in your shorts. You got no cut. You don't have the pressure of making a check. I don't know how you can give them world golf ranking points like you give points to the PGA guys, unless they do what John Rahm wants them to do, start playing 72 holes and play the damn golf course the way it's supposed to be played.
Yeah, I mean, I think both ends of the spectrum need to kind of do a little give and take there, for sure. I mean, it's basically like them playing Top Golf on grass.
Yeah.
That's basically what's happening. I mean, you got music playing, which I think the game itself needs to evolve, in which it is, and Liv's definitely a big part of that. But heck, you look at Jason Day. It looked like he had a basketball jersey on this morning.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there.
The game is getting to where they're trying to kind of adapt with the times a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, it is.
It just has to be the same game
of it, or you dislike it, and as far as world ranking points. Yeah, I mean, the other thing is like, most tour events that you can get world ranking points, it's not so shut off. It's not completely cut off from, a guy being able to go and qualify for it. So like that would be a whole another ball game. Is, it is like you need a Live contract to play and Live.
Yeah.
And but I mean, something has to give. I mean, the Ryder Cup's affected, President's Cup is affected.
Yeah.
You get now 4 times a year that these guys are playing together. Somebody has to come in and kind of be the adult in the room in this situation.
It just has to be the same, is all I'm saying. Is that right? I don't mind if this is the way it's going to be, But whatever it is, you have to have the same set of rules if you're gonna give those guys points for playing 54-hole tournaments versus guys that are playing 72 and have the stress of a cut. Who knows? I mean, Bryson DeChambeau, he may think the tournament's over Saturday and leave. I mean, somebody's going to have to tell him, hey, stay. You got to play. You got to play another round. This isn't this popcorn deal. You got
to. Sunday shorts and flip flops, wondering what time lunch is.
Yeah, he thinks he's done. Pete Sands with us here. How surprised are you by Jordan Spieth's 79? You mentioned the 9 at the par 5 15th hole, but it wasn't just that. He was bad all the way around, and he has been an ATM machine when it comes to playing there at the Masters. He was first, second, his first 3. He's got a couple of thirds. He was 4th last year. So, he loves it there, and he goes out and scrapes it around in 79. That was a stunner.
Yeah, I mean, it's the golf course can definitely affect you. I mean, it's you have to avoid those big numbers. He definitely found one yesterday on 15, but I think the wheels started coming off a little bit on 14. Yeah. He made a bad bogey on 14, and then the 9 on 15. But before that, he was 1 over, which is not ideal, but also not taking yourself out of it. But you have to avoid those crooked numbers because that will affect you. They say you can't win a golf tournament on Thursday, but you definitely lose it. I think he might have lost it on that with that 9 on 15.
Yeah, he's going to miss the cut. He'll miss the cut in this deal now. Rory McIlroy 1 under 71. He's through the first hole. He's made par there. Again, it'll be yeoman effort to move. That's the biggest thing today. It's almost like the movement may come from guys coming back to you versus guys going up the board. And, if somehow he could get it to 3 under or something like that, shoot 70 today, then he becomes a factor on the weekend. I think a lot of people would like to see that. I always say if Rory wins 1 Masters, he'll win 3. If he wins 1 more major, he's liable to win 3 or 4 more majors. I think it'll come in a wave. If you can get over this bugaboo, it's been 10 years since he won.
Yeah, and he's also. We were talking about Liv. I think he's more affected by that than kind of he puts out to be and people put out to be because he was the anti-Liv guy for so long, and instead of him focusing on playing some golf, every question was asked. What do you think about this? What do you think about that guy going? So. He's definitely one of those that I agree with you. I think once he gets over that hump, Rory's always going to be Rory. He's always in contention. He always has the ability and the talent to go out there and put a low number out there. And I think he's in a good spot. Like you said, I think that the field's going to come back to a lot of these players today, especially with that wind going to pick up. But he just started too, though, so he's got to play in the wind. So it's going to be interesting. Just get to the weekend, and you never know what happens. I think is a lot of these guys' mindset, and Rory's probably right there, just saying, "Hey, let me go and shoot 2 or 3 under today, and kind of get in that middle of the pack, and then watch out, start hearing some of those Augusta roars that everybody talks about."
Things starting to green up a little bit out there at Cherokee Ridge. Is it on yet? With we've had some warmer nights, and it's that time of year where all of a sudden you're going to go to the course one day and you say, "When did this happen? When did all these trees pop green?"
It is. I'm licking my chops of the 82s that are supposed to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. So it was 40, 45 this morning. So we're slowly starting to green up. It's definitely. Weather dictated. We got a couple big tournaments coming up, including your guys. So we're definitely going to pray to the old weather gods to bring some warm weather for us to green up for a busy season that we have on the books.
Yeah, well, for a guy that came out of Florida up here, it's warm a big chunk of the year, but we have seasons. So there's that.
I was telling Scott and Drew I was lucky enough to be on their show the other day, and I was telling them, I was like, me being iced in for 3 days over the winter, I'm not used to that. You guys can take that, sure. So, but yeah, it's we're for somebody that didn't ever have seasons. It's like a painting every time I walk outside. So it is gorgeous up here.
Yeah. I wished it was a miserable weekend of weather so that I can feel good about sitting in the house all weekend long and watching the Masters. This is my favorite thing. This is a top 3 event for me in all of the sports calendar. I love watching the Masters, and I hate it that it's going to be beautiful all weekend long because I'm going to be distracted by it being beautiful all weekend long. But I'm going to figure out a way. I'm going to take the hit and figure out a way to stay in and watch as much Masters as possible. So
it is one of those tournaments like we talked about before. I actually had a pastor at my old church. He only took one Sunday off a year, and it was Master Sunday.
Master Sunday.
It is definitely a must watch for sure. And but hey, you got technology, right? So you can sit there and watch it on your phone on the Masters app. Go out, jump on the boat, or come play some golf, and be able to watch it and stay up with it. So
that's a good point.
Technology has helped not only Augusta National with what they could do with the grass, but also ways for us to watch it. So that is a definite plus.
I figure out a way to mount my phone on my lawnmower so I can watch it while I'm cutting the grass. That's the way I need to do. All right, always a pleasure, Pete. I appreciate you, man. I'll see you out there sooner than later.
Come see me, buddy. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That's Pete Sands from Cherokee Ridge. All right, we're going to break in here. We're going open lines the rest of the way from the Salt Factory Pub next, right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold-certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
Weekend of the 2024 season is officially underway as the Birmingham Barons take on your Rocket City Trash Pandas. The best fireworks show in the Rocket City always closes out the evening on Friday and Saturday, and after the game on Sunday, kids get to run the bases. Get your tickets for the weekend now at tptix.com. That's tptix.com. Let's rock it.
Everyone's favorite place to celebrate Cinco de Mayo this year is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. For Cinco de Mayo, Coralejos Mexican Grill will feature $3 regular margaritas and all nachos will be half off. And there will be even more surprises. Celebrate Cinco de Mayo this year at Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
Looking for your next game day party destination? Well, think outside the box and kick back at Flosa Premier. And you may be thinking, isn't that the trampoline place? Of course it is. But it's also the one-stop spot for all things fun. And if kicking back with the boys to watch the game is your jam, then you're in the right spot. Jump or not, Flo tends to all ages, meaning while you sit back and watch the game, but little Jimmy's having the time of his life perfecting that front flip he most definitely wants to show you. You got this, Jimmy. So next time you think Flo, think fun for everyone.
Listen to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond
Y'all the best, man. Hey, just don't make sure I don't get that Moron plaque.
No, sir. Not at all.
Thanks, Coach. Oh, Ronnie Stapler joining us. No, Coach, you are not going to get the Moron of the Year plaque.
Every weekday morning, wake up with Scott and Drew. It's Talkin' Ball on 97.7 The Zone.
Eagle Masonry and Insulation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship in insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Electric cars are coming faster than you think, and that's why we're bringing SEMA Connect to Alabama.
Our team educates you and helps provide a long-term plan for your business. Where to put them, how to get them there, how to pay for them, tax incentives, service, and monitoring. We take care of everything.
Doing the right thing means bringing EV car chargers to Alabama. Let us help you with your EV charging plan.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Unlike other credit cards that decline sports betting transactions or treat them as a cash advance, the GBank Visa Signature Card can load directly to your favorite sportsbook apps. G.bank/VSiN.
It's the final weekend of NBA action. Teams looking to lock in playoff spots. The hottest race atop the Western Conference tonight. Oak City by 14.5 against the Bucks. The Nuggets by 11.5 at Denver. The T-Wolves by 13.5 against the Hawks. Denver on top of the conference by a game over the T-Wolves and Thunder. The defending champion Nuggets plus 300 to win the title this year. That's second among bettors, with the Celtics leading the way at plus 160. The Clippers in at plus 800. The Bucks plus 1,000. The Thunder plus 1,600 and the T-Wolves plus 2,000. The Suns and Sixers plus 2,000. The Mavericks plus 2,500. Get the latest lines and more at vsin.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A beautiful Friday across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. We get to enjoy plenty of sunshine. Now, we are going to be on the cooler end of the spectrum. Temperatures only climbing into the mid and upper 60s, but it's still going to be a beautiful day with plenty of sunshine and, most importantly, no rain. We drop into the mid 40s as we head into the overnight, early into your Saturday morning. Plenty of sunshine Saturday afternoon. Temperatures quickly going to climb into the mid and upper 70s. We're only dropping into the mid 50s through the overnight, early Sunday morning. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Everything you need is just a click away.
I screw up sometimes, silly.
Okay, almost everything.
Come on, pal. Tell your fortune.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Regardless of where we are at and what is going on in the world of sports, it is still Football Friday. So you are still going to get football music throughout the show. Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show here at the Salt Factory Pub. Auburn Mike slipped by a little while ago. Reminded us that he did win a trifecta a couple of years ago. He reminded the Junkyard Babe of that, and then she gave me a note. I wasn't 100% sure. I think he was just informing, maybe, or what. Unfortunately, for Auburn Mike, we were, we've already given away our vouchers for lunch here at the Salt Factory Pub, and but you're going to have an opportunity to win one in the next week or so. We'll have that available for you. But it is it's a great setting. If you're just joining the show now, it's a really, really cool joint, and it's a really nice place to do a show. And I got to give some credit to, and those of you that are watching it on WZZN TV, you can get a little bit of a sense of the atmosphere here. But I got to give credit to two people. One, Grizz, because he's the one that set this up. So it's a good job by Grizz getting this thing set up for us to be here. And then the other person I want to give credit to is Steve Moulton, because Steve actually physically set us up here on the location that we're at. And I'm going to tell you right now, you could not have a better spot to be doing this show than where we are sitting right now. Steve put us at the exact right table, and I'm right in front of beautiful big screen TV with the Masters on there. It's a corner table as well. Junkyard Babe reading her book, paying attention to the show, making notes, very much into the show. She says that Jeff in the Borough is full of garbage. She thinks that everybody cares about the 8A game. In fact, she asked me, she says, is there any way we could go to Tuscaloosa tomorrow and watch the 8A game? And I told her, I says, no, honey, I can't because we're going to watch it on the TV while I'm watching the Masters after I watch the bass tournament from the Harris Chain of Lakes and before we go to our grandson's Little League baseball game. So I told her, and she's like, is there any way, do you think we could go to the 8A game instead? And I said, no, baby, we can't go to the 8A game, but it will be on TV, and we'll record it. I promised her we'll record it so that we can watch it later that night if we miss any of it. You know what I mean? We might miss a little bit of it, so we'll have to do that. But Jeff says that nobody cares about 8A. He says that everybody cares about Mark Pope coming back from BYU to Kentucky because he was the captain of the 1996 championship team. And as a coach, Chris, he has taken BYU to the tournament twice. Of course, he hasn't won a game in a tournament yet, including losing this year as a 6 seed to 11 seed Duquesne. So he should fit in perfectly in Lexington, right? I mean, that's right up the. That's he can walk right into that job.
No pressure.
Pick up where John Calipari left off, getting upset in the tournament. You know what I mean? You make the tournament. Because you are Kentucky, you will be overrated all throughout the year. Everybody will think that you're something that you're not. You'll finish, 4th, 5th, or 6th in the SEC, and you do have a chance to go to the Final Four next year at Kentucky. I mean, there's no doubt about it. They have a chance to go to the Final Four because maybe Nate Oates will leave them tickets, and then you can go to the Final Four too. All right, so. Maybe that's the way it'll work out. He says he didn't want Nate Oates, which was good because Nate Oates didn't want the job. And as you heard in that update at the top of the hour on the ESPN, pretty much nobody wanted the job.
Yeah.
He says it's the number one job in America. And, Billy Donovan said he'd rather coach a bad, bottom-of-the-barrel team like the Chicago Bulls than Kentucky. You look at the Hurley. Danny Hurley said, "I would rather coach in Connecticut than Lexington because, to be honest with you, at Connecticut they only have 2 less national championships than Kentucky, right?
Yeah.
They got 6 now at Connecticut, and Kentucky has 8, and so he's like, our blood is bluer than Kentucky's blood now.
Yeah,
they're a better team right now. No, Nate Oates said no." Thanks, bad arena or not, I'll keep playing here in this hangar over here, and I'll just take like 9 or 10 new players every year and new coaches, and maybe go to the Final Four, because with Nate Oates, as they used to say about Nick Saban and Don Shula, he could take Hizen and beat Urin, and then he could take Urin and beat Hizen.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the kind of guy he is, and and that's it. So we'll have to see how it all works out. All right, Jeremy Noble is up. Jeremy, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good, Tom. I'm really good. I'd like to tell Jeff in the Borough that if you combined all the spring games for Kentucky since Saban was there. They can't even add up for the total for that first 8-day game when they sold out Bryant-Denny.
Yeah. There'll be Kentucky's spring game is tomorrow as well. There'll be more people in the bathrooms at Bryant Saban Stadium. Isn't that what they're going to change it to? I heard Bryant Saban. Bryant Saban Stadium will have more people in the bathrooms than they'll be at the Kentucky spring game. There's no doubt about it.
Well, what I called you about until I got sidetracked by Jeff in the Borough. I have a fishing question.
Yeah.
So I'm coming over Gunnersville today, and the wind is terrible.
Yeah.
And I know that's good. I know that's tough for a fisherman, but is it it true that the fishing is better?
No doubt.
When you have rough water like this?
No doubt. The saying is the wind is your friend in fishing. The wind is your friend. In many, many cases it is because, first of all, it mucks up the water a little bit, so the fish are more aggressive because they can't see you. And the chop on top of the water, they can't see you very well either. And typically what you want to do is put the wind at your back and get to a wind-blown point or a wind-blown shoreline where the wind is blowing into shore, crashing into those rocks or crashing into that riprap or into the bank, and throw a spinnerbait, something like that that's got a lot of flash. And what's happening is that when the wind is working like that, it's knocking all the bait around, all the crawfish and all the junk that the fish eat and everything else. It's hitting the bank and washing all of that stuff back. So, yeah, whether you're fishing offshore or whether you're fishing onshore, the wind definitely is your friend. Now, you have to be careful. If it's too rough, it gets to the point where you're going to get knocked out of your boat, then you have to be careful with it. But, as much as you like to be out there on a beautiful, calm day, the water gets clear and the fish don't bite as well. It just is. It's the truth. I hate to say it, but it's true.
Well, and I know it's extreme. My dad finally got a boat, and we're no longer kayak fishing in Guntersville because, my gosh, let me tell you, kayak fishing in Guntersville, it's fun until about a year and a half later, and you feel like you've went one round with Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
I mean it is, buddy. It'll take a lot out of you because Guntersville's rough on kayak.
Yeah.
But
unless you go in the back, you want to go in Goose Pond and then you want to slip out the back way and go down by the golf course. You know what I mean? Out behind, and it always seems to be calm in there. That's why that water is so clear in there. It's one of my favorite spots to fish, but it is a place where you can get out of the wind a little bit, and the water is pretty clear. So when you do hook up with a 3 or 4 pounder in there, it's always cool to see them down there fighting with you.
Hey, and Short Creek's not bad either. I like Short Creek. It's a fun little spot. Well, man, I appreciate it. That's all I wanted to know. I'd always heard that, and I never knew. And so now that kind of helps us out because on these days when I'm not working on Fridays, I can jet on out now and take the boat out and start fishing.
Yeah.
I don't really know if there's ever a day when it's not windy up here on Guntersville.
The worst day, the most dangerous day on Guntersville is when the wind is blowing in one direction, coming right up the lake. Coming say dead out of the north or dead out of the south, and it's blowing in one direction, and they're pulling water in the other direction, and the wind and the water has nowhere to go, and it won't even be that windy. It'll be like the wind would normally be a 1.5 or 2 foot chop, and now they're pulling water the other way, and the water has nowhere to go, and it goes straight up. And you end up with 4 and 5 foot waves, and you're like, what the heck is going on? And it's because they're pulling current one way, and the wind's blowing against the current. And it gets a little dicey. Yeah.
Well, good luck to your grandsons tomorrow. I hope they have fun in their games, and I appreciate it a lot. See you, Tom.
I appreciate it. Yeah, no, it'll be good. I was hoping that it was like 9 in the morning. I don't know what's worse, 9 in the morning or 5 in the afternoon. Maybe it's 5 in the afternoon. Maybe that's a better way to go. We didn't even mention the passing of O.J. Simpson. It's an enigma for so many people, obviously. I mean, the guy was one of the greatest college players ever in the history of college football. Those of us that are old enough to remember O.J. Simpson playing in college, I was a young kid when O.J. Simpson was playing in college. And then, of course, being from upstate New York, he was drafted by Buffalo. He did not play very well. The first couple of years, they were terrible, and he did not do very well. And eventually he breaks through and starts having 1,000-yard seasons in a 14-game season. He had 2,003 yards in 1973 in a 14-game season. Remember, it was 16 games when Eric Dickerson broke his record. It was a 14-game season when O.J. had 2,003 yards. He averaged like 153 yards a game that year. Now with a 17-game season, you average 153 yards a game. He'd have, he'd have had 2,600 yards if it was something like that. Carried the ball a lot. Obviously, was never a champion, never won. And then he becomes a very popular actor. He's doing Monday Night Football. He was incredible charisma, good-looking guy. and then he kills his wife and her alleged boyfriend, and everything changes. And he did it. All right, look, let's just tell it the way it is. He did it. Okay. Yes, Johnny Cochran got him acquitted. It was the trial of the century. It was enthralling for everybody that was old enough to be watching that. It was amazing. The Bronco, the white Bronco chase was amazing. He did it. And he was found liable in the civil lawsuit. A lot of people are confused about it. They'll say, well, he was found innocent. He was found not guilty. There's a difference between being innocent and not guilty. He was found not guilty. They couldn't put together enough pieces of the puzzle to convict him of murder. The civil case has a different threshold, and he was found to be responsible for the death. $33 million award to Ronald Goldman's family, which they have never collected on. Today they're still trying to collect on it, on whatever was left of O.J. Simpson's. And remember, he doesn't go to jail when he goes and does 9 years in jail. He doesn't go to jail for, murdering his wife and her boyfriend. He goes to jail for, getting in an argument with a memorabilia guy, basically kind of stealing back his own memorabilia. I mean, it was kind of a convoluted thing. And he was trying to steal back his own memorabilia in Vegas and went in and threatened a guy with a gun and everything else, goes to jail for 9 years. And now he's dead of cancer. And the last couple of years he was doing a lot of videos. He was big on social media, and he was on a golf course all the time. And remember what he said famously is he was going to spend the rest of his life trying to find the real killers of his wife, his ex-wife Nicole and Ronald Goldman. Apparently he was looking on the golf course, because that's where he spent all his time, on a golf course. So he must have thought somebody on the golf course killed his wife and Ron Goldman. I really know. Floyd is up next. Floyd, welcome to the show. How are you? Floyd, are you there?
You might have to call me back. He was having some issues when I first put him on, but he went.
All right.
So
Floyd tried to get back in there. Eight SEC spring games tomorrow. 8. Not only in Alabama, but Georgia, Florida, LSU, Kentucky, Tennessee, Ole Miss, and Arkansas all go tomorrow in the SEC for spring games. I mean that is, that is something. And I think that our Drew to Armin Grizz is going to have to get a new jersey. Rylan Griffin is in the transfer portal. So Drew to Armin's number 3 Rylan Griffin jersey has entered the transfer portal. That doesn't mean he can't stay at Alabama.
Yeah.
But he is in the transfer portal, which is kind of surprising. That was a major contributor. He was in the guard rotation. I think he averaged like 11 points a game. So that was kind of an interesting thing to see him go into the transfer
Must
portal.
be something that somebody's coming in, possibly, maybe he's just looking at his options, because like I've said before many times, is if he's not scoring 12 to 13 points a game, I mean, he's huge on that starting 5 that was just trying to score every night.
Yeah, I thought he was a heck of a contributor.
I mean, the guy that was hitting threes 2 off the wing. I mean, that's a guy that was just ready to shoot.
And you don't know, they're looking at other guys in the transfer portal.
Right.
You don't know if it's because, is the guy transferring out because somebody's coming into the transfer portal, or are they looking at guys in the transfer portal because the guy has said that he's leaving? Chicken and egg deal there.
Yeah.
That's what we're not sure. All we know is that, I would think that Drew to Armin's Rylan Griffin jersey will be available for auction at some point in time very, very soon.
Maybe that'll be the one that we sign at the golf tournament.
At the golf tournament,
we give away.
Maybe we'll auction it off at the golf tournament. We'll see. All right, let's try Floyd again. Floyd, welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing good, Tom. How about you?
I am fantastic.
Just a quick question. I know you're affiliated with Bass, but what kind of tournament did they have on Smith last weekend?
I'm not sure. I would think that it was possibly a MLF BFL tournament, the Bass Fishing League. I'll double check and see where they were. I think those guys were there. It wasn't one of Bass's events. I know that. Bass didn't have an event on Smith. Bass has an Elite Series event coming up on Smith Lake in June. In fact, I'll be a part of the TV coverage of that one. But Bass will be there with their elites in believe it or not, the Saturday before the 4th of July. I mean, it's you think there'll be a few boats out on Smith Lake on the Saturday before 4th of July week?
Oh, my gosh.
Goodness gracious almighty. Yeah.
The reason I was asking, I pastor a small church in the area, and one of the ladies that go to church with us, her brother won the tournament there last weekend, won nearly $100,000, and he's a fireman in Huntsville.
Really?
Yeah,
it was the MLF Toyota Series. So they had a Toyota Series event there, and so the guy who won it, Rusty Cooper. So you're saying Rusty Cooper?
Right.
Rusty Cooper is related to who?
He's a lady that goes to my church.
Oh, okay.
It's her brother, and she was telling me about it, and I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
But he lives in Owens Crossroads and is a fireman in Huntsville.
Really? Well, congratulations to Rusty Cooper. It was $95,500, but that included a Phoenix bass boat. So a big chunk of that was the boat. It wasn't necessarily cash. But he doesn't go to your church, right?
No, he doesn't. His sister does. Yeah.
I feel bad because if he went to your church, I always tell these guys, if you go to one of these bass tournaments and you win $95,500, I mean, he really kind of needs to scratch a check for $9,500 back to the church. I mean, you got to tithe your winnings.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to tithe your winnings. I mean, come on. I mean,
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. But yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah.
I didn't know, and I was going to ask. Yes.
All right.
So,
well, I hope he's listening.
right.
Maybe he's a fan of the show. Jesse Wiggins was second. Jesse used to be an Elite Series angler, so that's a good job by Rusty Cooper. All right, man. Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
He did his damage on a Scottsboro swim jig with a Reaction Innovation skinny dipper, and that's a trailer, by the way. And he had a 4 or a 6-inch Scottsboro swim bait. Scottsboro makes great swim baits at Scottsboro Tackle there. Or a Scottsboro glide bait. Yeah, so there you go. Caught a couple on a wacky rigged Excite Baits stick bait as well. So Rusty Cooper, congratulations, Rusty Cooper. I'd have you on Bassmaster Radio, except for it's, Bassmaster Radio. So I really don't have MLF guys that come on Bassmaster Radio. But I could have had him on this show, but that's a good job. Grizz, did we just take 2 fishing questions?
I believe so, yeah.
So it's the Masters.
Yeah.
It's A-Day. It's Jeff in the Burrow thinks that Kentucky's job is the number one job in America, which is kind of myopic these days.
Yeah.
And the question took 2 bass fishing questions.
Fishing and basketball.
I love it, man. It's good job, guys. I appreciate that. All right, let's get a break. We'll come back with a final segment from here out at the Salt Factory Pub next, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms can include pain, heaviness, aching, fatigue, or swelling at the end of the day. If this has been the case, then Varicosity Vein Center can come to your aid. Evaluation and treatment of the veins is performed as an outpatient, utilizes the latest, minimally invasive techniques, and is covered by most insurances. After treatment, patients may resume most normal activities without delay. Varicosity Vein Center now has 3 North Alabama locations, one in Huntsville on South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road. Our new locations include Madison at Madison Hospital Complex and Coleman at the Coleman Regional Sports Medical Center. You can call 256-715-7151 to set up your appointment with one of our experienced and compassionate team members, or you can visit online at varicosityveincenter.com. Varicosity Vein Center, Alabama's premier vein center.
Spring is in the air, making it a great time to make plans to visit the Lodge at Guntersville State Park. The Lodge at Guntersville State Park sits on a cliff overlooking beautiful Guntersville Lake with vistas from the cliffside rooms as well as the Pinecrest Room, the Lodge's premier restaurant. And as the weather warms, enjoy the gorgeous pool that overlooks the lake as well. The park also features cabins, a beach, and a boat launch, so bring your boat to take the fun to the lake. The Lodge at Guntersville State Park. Book your visit today.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as, bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Make your taste buds come alive with a visit to Huntsville's newest taste sensation, Salt Factory Pub at Mid-City, offering a creative menu featuring a variety of classic comfort foods with international influences. Salt Factory Pub is the perfect destination for everyone. Salt Factory Pub also has an unbeatable beer list of more than 50 different draft and bottled brews. Just a short walk from the Orion Amphitheater, Salt Factory Pub is the perfect spot for great food in an inviting and casual atmosphere. Find out more online at salthuntsville.com. The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Listen weekday afternoons starting at 5 on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
It's perfect!
And welcome back to Tom Abraham Show, wrapping things up here at the Salt Factory Pub. Bryson DeChambeau, Scotty Scheffler leading at the Masters. Scheffler just threw 3 holes. Bryson DeChambeau through 9. Max Homa is 1 back through 14. Danny Willett now is moving in a couple at through 10 holes. And Nikolai Hogard ended up shooting a 1 over 73 today. Struggled on the last couple of holes and backed up a little bit. Ryan Fox, the day one leader. Well, not day one, but led early in day one. He is at 4 under as well. Tiger Woods, will he make the cut? He is at 2 over right now on the 15th. He is at 2 over. The cut is 3 over. He's trying to make a record 24th cut at the Masters. I'm going to run over to Zone 2 and I'll be back in an hour with UAH Baseball. Until then, Paul Feinbaum Show is next on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Baseball's back, baby.
Olsen drill.